that began January 10th, 1994. About 500 of us sailed around the world on the SS Universe to such countries as the Bahamas. The SS Universe. It was our home for 100 days as we sailed around the world. Over the years, the ship has served as Semester at Sea's floating university for over 25,000 students.
Hi! Hi! How are you doing? It's Lisa. Hi! Love her.
We have biggest room ever. It's huge.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I was sick before, but now I feel much better. These really help.
Traveler is the person who doesn't know where he or she is going.
At other cultures, and you move into other cultures, is what is my comfort zone? And I think on a voyage like this, if we can all, without regressing, become children in the sense of openness and honesty and a sense of inquisitiveness, then the voyage will be that much richer for all of us as we become participant observers. Thank you.
La Guaira, Venezuela.
Mountainous spine, stacked, domino domiciles, still a home. Serene smile and squalor, gaps and grins and slack roofs.
We attended a great welcome reception at Simón Bolívar University and danced the salsa.
Hiked through the Rancho Grande cloud forest, and then dove into the forest for an in-depth botany lecture.
Into the flower.
Jumped on a bus, I had no idea where it was going, and took off down the coast, and it cost 10 cents a ride. I got off every little town.
Oh yeah, Venezuela was great. Thank you very much for everything. It was a wonderful experience to be at Semester at Sea.
Equator, we were subjected to the bizarre ritual of Neptune Day. We sailed into Salvador Bahia, Brazil. Colonial buildings line the harbor and surrounding hillsides. Salvador's upper city.
Brazil was sensuous, mystical, exotic, romantic, all of the above.
We were treated to this demonstration of capoeira, a form of dance fighting first brought to Brazil by African slaves.
We get married, we're gonna come to Brazil. Who goes to Brazil?
We found. Some of us traveled into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, the largest rainforest in the world. The rainforest is fast disappearing.
Let's get together and
It's Super Bowl Sunday, and we're sitting in the middle of Brazil, and Super Bowl's on.
But we had a great time. We saw live crocodiles, and we saw trees and monkeys, and it was amazing. Parrots.
Oh, I love it. Reminds me of New Orleans. It reminds me of home. I love it here. I have to come back down here a year from now or so. Very nice to meet you.
What's the laugh we had yesterday?
SAS Universe finest.
Okay. We grew accustomed to the dining room food, and some of us settled into our peanut butter and jelly diets.
studying for our first core test here, and I've heard rumors that it's a killer.
I think I did pretty good. Just there were some questions, tricky questions and stuff.
One night, we converted the student union into a coffee house.
Just where in the world is the SS Universe? If you wait for the time till our souls get it right.
Across the sky and unleashing this light upon the sea. It was just incredible to see the reflections and the colors.
Rich Wendell taught a class in Tai Chi each morning at dawn. Simulated South African elections were held.
By sharing power in decision-making in the parliament, it gives a voice to all South Africans.
Cape Town, South Africa.
The slots.
For generations, South Africa has been a land sharply divided between black and white. Archbishop Tutu invited us all to a special morning mass.
What's it name? Angelica? That's her name? That's a pretty name.
Homes in the townships are small and cramped.
Oh, that sucks.
You wanted him to plunge.
The United States of America are in the front line of this fight for democracy in this country. You all have given us a lot of encouragement.
It was like all that beauty in Cape Town, all that wealth, everything that I liked about it was built on the backs of the black people there, and it really started to disgust me.
I mean, the whole time in South Africa, we were watching a democracy as it started to build.
Totally psyched. We're finally in Kenya. We're going on our safari, and we're waiting for customs to clear so that we can hopefully catch our plane and go and check out all the animals.
Or restaurant. The Maasai people are primarily cattle herders.
A bunch of cheetahs eat this animal. Was it a gazelle? And a bunch of people thought it was really sad, but I thought it was the absolutely most beautiful thing I've ever seen because it was nature.
Mitchell's tea plantation in the Kenyan highlands.
And the world price of tea.
We took a ferry ride on the way to Kisite Marine Park.
Heading out to see some awesome coral, see some nice fish. It's gonna be pretty cool. We already seen some barracudas just getting into water, sea urchins. It's gonna be a great trip.
We returned to Mombasa in time to explore the city. Nearly half of Mombasa's population is Muslim.
What is reality? Reality is only a dream.
Semester at Sea on Olympics Day.
My taste, my smell, my touch. I am ready to receive India. I am so ready.
We made our way through the fascinating streets of Madras.
Of Indians are agriculturalists. The unemployment rate is at an outstanding 48%.
Old beggars sleep like sacks of bones on the pavement.
They're just living on the street, sleeping on the street.
This is the Ekambareshwar Temple. At Marina Beach in Madras, a group of Muslims gathered to celebrate Ramjan.
United States, actually. Understand what life is about in a way. I mean, they're still driving oxen around in the main streets.
Villagers were fascinated by Devana's braids. Many of us left southern India and flew to Old Delhi. India will probably surpass China as the world's most populated country.
Hey guys.
India was awesome, a culture shock from heck. You get off the boat and there you are, surrounded by a new culture. Cars, rich and poverty, all there in one motion.
The village. India will never leave me. It was probably the most spectacular port I've had.
Everybody cracks up.
19th, we sailed into the harbor of Penang. Arrangements were made for our transport in Penang.
How much? Okay, I'll pay you $25.
Before the ceremony, though, we enjoyed a traditional Malaysian meal.
Malaysia was a nice spring break country after India, a good place to unwind, very beautiful country.
You could do all the water sports. Malaysia was the place to do water sports.
Batu Ferringhi Beach was a great setting for many of us to reflect on the voyage.
I don't know, there's a lot of problems out there that need to be solved, and I personally I'm so much more interested in them, and I want to find a way where I can make a change and help things, you know.
On Philippines, I think we're gonna have to stay in Singapore.
But I swear that piece of paper, it was blank. Always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you might find get what you need.
Before disembarking in Singapore, our priority was finishing the academic coursework. We studied, wrote papers, gave final presentations, and took final exams.
Temples.
Who you are. Final presentations in theater class. Ambassador's Ball in Singapore Harbor.
I definitely didn't expect it to be as clean as it was. In Singapore, every street was lined with as many malls as you could fit on the street.
Chewing gum has been banned from Singapore, so don't bring your gum.
There were so many video arcades, people playing video games everywhere.
Bob Carson led an FDP to the island of Batam, part of the Indonesian archipelago. By the evening of April 4th, it was time to fly to Japan.
Compact and clean. People are friendly. It's very expensive.
Japan's awesome. We stayed
It's beautiful.
in Ryokan.
Has a traditional, total traditional.
A lot of dead fish.
Very dead fish. Very rubbery at that.
Tons of it.
Plenty of temples and castles. The palaces were amazing. The architecture was absolutely amazing. You could try anything. Try the tuna. Try the fish eggs.
Eco parlors. Many traveled to Hiroshima to view the monument to the victims of the atomic bomb dropped by the U.S. in World War II.
You couldn't even imagine how fast these things go. Looking out the window, things are just flying by you.
On 747s, full of new insights on both traditional and modern Japanese culture, and then took off for China. Shanghai, China is a city of at least 12 million people and almost as many bicycles. Line the main waterfront street, called the Bund, with opium dens, brothels, and gambling halls. The lascivious Shanghai days are gone for now, but the commerce and crowds still remain and flourish. Buddha is a living, active Buddhist temple and is home to these monks.
In China, just insist that China is always a socialist country.
Unfortunately, our friend got in trouble with the authorities for speaking to us. The Chinese were amazed by the blonde hair in our group. On for morning exercises.
Get on here and have rice and marmalade. It's going to be great. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Right on. I'm there. 10 o'clock tonight.
This is home. I am so glad to see this ship again.
Then it was off to Beijing.
In Beijing.
Forbidden City. Walked through Tiananmen Square, scene of the 1989 democracy demonstrations and ensuing massacre. In the 5 years since the Tiananmen Square massacre, the Chinese government has continued to pretend that the violent event never occurred. Government repression of certain human rights remains a reality in communist China. These walls were constructed in an effort to keep out marauding nomads.
It was wonderful to be at the Great Wall, overlooking everything. It took a lot of steep, worn, windy steps to reach the top, but the top, yes.
Great Wall, and reflected upon our many experiences.
Just read it as and take it all in as if it was a regular class that you would take back home, but then to really go and see.
I mean, we're such a small part in this world. I mean, we may be one of the largest countries, one of the most powerful, but my God, there's so many places out there.
We spent some time getting to know Chinese students at university receptions.
point of this trip is to tease you. So you go into each country and you see a little bit, but you want to see more.
Yeah, everything is tangible now.
Before leaving China, some of us went to the disco.
Go home. I can't wait, but it's weird. I like my new friends too.
Big mess. I don't know where everything's gonna.